Good afternoon from Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet, Illinois. It's the home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints, and today it's the site of a CCAC baseball doubleheader. Welcome to the broadcast. Terry Bonadonna with you as the Fighting Saints take on the Crimson Wave of Calumet College of St. Joseph. Calumet is the home team today. Their home games in this four-game series were moved here to Joliet due to a poor weather forecast for Saturday. So they take the field first as we take a look at the starting lineups. First, for the visitors from St. Francis. Leading off and playing second base, Alex Martinez. Batting second, left fielder Max Montgomery. Nate Maliska hits third and plays first base. Batting cleanup, right fielder Jake Klepash. Brian Hidalgo is the number 5 batter and shortstop. Drew Dant plays third base. Batting seventh, designated hitter John McGuire. Cliff Vickers is in center field, batting eighth. And hitting ninth, the catcher Jake Murda. Starting pitcher in game one of today's twin bill is right-hander Ryan Daly. For Calumet, the leadoff batter is center fielder Darius Little. Hitting second, shortstop Blaze Cano. Hitting third is Joseph Selby. Selby mans third base. Batting fourth, left fielder Tommy Benson. Michael Matchnick is at first base. Michael Perry hits sixth and plays right field. Batting seventh, catcher Brennan Nichols. Tyler Brody bats eighth. Brody is the designated hitter. And hitting ninth, second baseman Nino Barbosa. The starting pitcher for Calumet College of St. Joseph today is right-hander Andrew Davenport, a 6'4" tall, 215-pound senior. Davenport makes his 6th start of the year, his 7th overall appearance. He's 1-2 with a 9 even ERA. In 25 innings, he's allowed 36 runs, 25 of them earned on 37 hits. He's got 19 strikeouts, 7 walks, and his first pitch today is wrapped on the ground through the hole on the left side, a base hit for Alex Martinez. So we're underway at 2:02 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and already there is a man aboard for St. Francis. Good start for the Fighting Saints. And Max Montgomery, the left fielder, is the batter. Davenport glances over his shoulder to check the runner at first base. Long pause, and now the pitch to Montgomery misses outside for ball one. Montgomery is hitting .345 this year in 14 games played. He has started 8 of the prior 16 for the Fighting Saints. 2 extra base hits, 3 RBIs so far this season. Before the second pitch to Montgomery, a throw to first base, and Martinez dives back to the bag. Alex Martinez has not attempted a stolen base yet this year. But Davenport keeping a close eye on him over at first, trying to keep him near the bag as Montgomery looks to sacrifice himself to move Martinez up 90 feet. Once again, he pulls the bat back on the bunt attempt and takes a ball. It's 2-0. Davenport has been the most used starting pitcher this year for Calumet. It's his team leading 6th start of the season. 2-0 to Montgomery. Not bunting this time, nor swinging because it's below the knees and out of the zone. 3-0 the count. The ERA is up there for Davenport at 9, but that's right around the team's number as well. Both of these pitching staffs have struggled this year, so expect a lot of runs over the next couple of days. 3-0 pitch, Montgomery taking all the way. He watches a strike go by. This was originally scheduled to be a 4-game weekend set. That's 2 games tomorrow here and then 2 games on Saturday in Indiana. The 2 Saturday games were pushed up to today. 3-1 finds the outside corner. The count goes full. It's life of college baseball in the Midwest. You never really know exactly when you're going to play. It looks beautiful. The sun is shining today. It is a picturesque day at the ballpark, but it's cold. Payoff pitch with the runner on the move. Outside ball 4, And the first two batters of the game have reached. Martinez turns on the Jets and heads to third base. He makes it in safely on an error committed by Calumet. Bad play by the Crimson Wave. With Martinez running on the 3-2 pitch, catcher Brennan Nichols made a throw down to second, even though it was ball 4. It's not uncommon. He wasn't sure that the pitch was going to be called a ball when he started his motion, and there's no reason to stop, but it was a bad throw. Kind of lazily fielded over at second base. And as the throw went out to center field, Martinez went easily into third. Here's Nate Maliska swinging at the first pitch. He grounds it weakly to the right side. Nino Barbosa shovels it over to first for out number 1. Martinez comes in to score. A most productive out for St. Francis as they get one runner up to second base and the other one across home plate. An RBI for Maliska makes it 1-0 in the top of the first inning. 8th RBI this year for Maliska. Brings up the cleanup batter, Jake Klepash. Klepash, left-handed hitting outfielder. Swings at the first pitch and foul tips it at the plate. Strike 1. Montgomery up to second base on the ground out from Maliska. So he stands in scoring position with only one out as the Fighting Saints try to make this a big inning. Ball low and away, 1-1. Jake Klepash this season, a .382 hitter, 4 RBIs. Trying to pick up a 5th with a base hit in this first inning at bat. Fastball over the outside corner, 1-2. As I was saying about the schedule, the preseason schedule really is just a guideline. You know, there are going to be a lot of weather issues in the springtime. Games are going to be moved around, different locations, different dates, different times. So Saturday's games were moved to today. So Klepash takes a ball inside, 2-2. And that's life of the Midwest during baseball season as well, where a game gets pushed up 2 days due to bad weather because the Crimson Wave wanted to play in nicer conditions, and these are the nicer conditions. It's about 40 degrees outside. We'll probably dip into the 30s before this one is over. There's a high bouncer over the pitcher's mound. Charging is the shortstop, Cano. He throws it wild to first base, and on the second error of the inning, the second run comes in to score for St. Francis. Montgomery crosses home plate. Klepash takes second on an infield hit. E6. Good first inning for the Saints. Just a really difficult play for Blaze Cano on a high bouncer. It was over the head of Davenport. He had no chance to make it. Cano was the only one who could field the ball, but by the time he brought it in, it was way too late to make the play. So there's really nothing he could do, and therefore he should have done nothing. Instead, he threw it about 20 feet wide of first base, allowed the run to score. Brian Hidalgo hits a smash on the ground over to short. This time Cano plays it cleanly and throws to first for the second out of the inning. Klepash advances to third on the plate. 2-0 St. Francis in this first. No RBI for Jake Klepash on his run-scoring infield single. The run across the plate, not on the hit, but on the air. Still a run-scoring play as Drew Dant stands in. Dant swings to the first pitch and grounds it to second. Another chance for Barbosa. His throw to first is low, but pulled up by Michael Matchnick, and the inning comes to a close. 4 out of 6 batters in the inning put the ball in play on the first pitch. An aggressive opening frame for St. Francis. They get 2 runs out of it on 2 hits, a walk, a pair of errors. They leave a man at third base. As we head to the bottom of the first inning, the Crimson Wave will come to bat for the first time, trailing 2-0. Bottom of the first inning, Calumet coming to bat for the first time, trailing 2-0. Darius Little, Blaze Cano, and Joseph Selby will bat this inning. Benson, Matchnick, Perry, Nichols, Brody, and Barbosa make up the rest of the lineup. They're facing Ryan Daly, the impressive starter for St. Francis today. Daly is 3-1 in 4 appearances with a 3.60 ERA. His first pitch to Darius Little finds the inside corner for strike 1. This is Daly's 4th start. He's also made 1 relief appearance. Strike 2 called on Little. In 20 innings, he's allowed just 16 hits, 10 runs, 8 of them earned, 6 walks. He has struck out 25. And there's number 26 painting the corner on Little. It's a 3-pitch strikeout, and the Calumet center fielder never took the bat off his shoulders. Leadoff man retired by Daly, and that'll bring up Blaze Cano. Great start today for the Fighting Saints, a team that has struggled in recent contests, particularly on the pitcher's mound. They've given up double-digit runs in 3 of their last 4 games. Cano takes ball 1 downstairs. First ball thrown today by Daly, a quick worker, right back at it. Swing and a miss, it's 1-1. Blaze Cano is hitting a team best 350. 8 RBIs this year. Slapped foul to the right, out of play, 1-2. Wednesday's game was a non-conference one for St. Francis against Lewis. They lost that one yesterday 12-0. Over the weekend, they allowed 18 against St. Ambrose in their most recent game on Saturday. That ball's fouled off to the right side and out of play. Still 1-2, 1 out, nobody on. So it's 30 runs given up their last 2 games. Tapped foul. Cano stays alive. Their team ERA coming into play today is 12.62. And they've been allowing in the neighborhood of 15 runs per game over the last few weeks. There's a soft grounder over to short, scooped up by Hidalgo. He throws to first and retires Cano. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Joseph Selby. Selby's the 3rd baseman for Calumet. Junior from this neck of the woods. He attended Romeoville High School just down the road from here. He takes a first pitch strike. Selby's hitting 279, 9 RBIs. The 0-1. Downstairs for a ball, 1-1. Fouled away. Ball and 2 strikes. Saints over their last 4 games have allowed 53 runs, so it's something they're trying to cut down on today. Daly's typically been the guy to stop runs like that this year. 2 hopper to second, gloved by Martinez. The toss to first is in plenty of time, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Daly made it look easy in the bottom of the first. We'll go to the second inning. 2-0, St. Francis. Start of the second inning, St. Francis comes to bat, leading already 2-0. It's a big first inning they put together. A couple of hits, a couple of errors contributed to those runs scoring. One of them was earned against Davenport. John McGuire leads things off here in the second, swings at the first pitch and grounds it to third base. Selby backhands it, throws across the diamond, and gets the out. Last 3 outs have been recorded on 3 pitches for Davenport. In fact, every out that he has recorded today has been a ground ball, and it's come on the first pitch of the at-bat. Only 2 of the first 7 hitters for St. Francis have not put the ball in play on the first pitch. Cliff Vickers doesn't. He pulls the bunt back and takes ball 1. Vickers is the number 8 hitter and center fielder, hitting .233. 5 RBIs this year. Junior transfer from Maryville University swings at the second pitch and rolls it over to second. Little bobble from Barbosa, but he recovers and throws to first in time. 2 away. Number 9 batter is catcher Jake Murda. That first inning wasn't just big because it gave the Saints the lead. Obviously, anytime you can take a 2-0 lead in the first, you're happy with it. Ryan Daly looked so sharp in the first that the Saints have to feel right now like they're in good shape. You don't want to think this way, but they don't necessarily have to add on a whole lot more if Daly keeps going the way he has. Murda takes ball 1 outside. Jake Murda's getting his 8th start behind the plate this year. He's a .227 hitter. And he grounds it up the middle and through for another base hit. So that'll add to that batting average of his. Murda picks up his 6th knock of the year. A 2-out single here in the top of the second inning. And the batter is Alex Martinez. Third hit of the game for the Saints. They've all been singles. They've all been on the ground. Nobody has elevated it yet against Davenport. Alex Martinez 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. Batting for the second time today. He takes the first pitch. It's a strike. Davenport had some big moments on the mound last year for Calumet, including one right here. He threw a no-hitter against the Fighting Saints. Throw over to first, and the runner dives back in safely. Davenport has also been a hitter throughout his career with the Crimson Wave, but this season he has focused on pitching. Ground ball foul, 0-2. He's not in the lineup in this game, nor has he been in any of his starts this year. In past campaigns, he's played first base when not on the mound, but again, that has not been the case this season. It's either on the mound or in the dugout. The 0-2 pitch with the runner on the move. Low and in for a ball. Throw down to second base is in time. Malachi Riley caught stealing after he had entered as the courtesy runner for Jake Murda. Riley is out number 3. So the top of the second comes to a close. No more trouble for Davenport this time around as we go to the bottom of the second. Still St. Francis 2, Calumet nothing. Ryan Daly, as is his wont, ready to go nice and quickly to start the bottom of the second inning. He'll face the middle of the CCSJ batting order: Benson, Matchnick, and Perry. Daly goes into the windup for the first pitch, and it's fouled away by Michael Benson. Strike one. Tommy Benson, sorry. It's Michael Matchnick and Michael Perry the rest of the inning, but this is Tommy Benson, 329 hitter. Leading the team in both home runs and RBIs with 3 and 24 respectively. Took a big hack at that one, or at least a start to a big hack, and tried to slow himself down but couldn't stop. Strike two. Just off the outside corner, Daly and his infield wanted what would have been strike three, but instead count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Fouled away. Daly was a quick worker in the first inning, went 1-2-3 with a strikeout. Through 13 pitches, it felt like less just because he does work so quickly on the mound. And the feeling that it flew by as Benson chases one up in his eyes. Strike three. Second strikeout of the ball game for Ryan Daly, who now has 27 of them in 21 1/3 innings pitched so far this season. 4 up, 4 down against him so far today. Daly right back to work against Michael Matchnick, who swings and misses for strike one. Matchnick leads the team, a 343 hitter, but he can't connect so far in this at-bat. Strike two. Second on the team, sorry. Blaze Cano is the team leader in batting average. I think I already said that. Can't keep giving that title to everybody who walks up to the plate. 1-2 the count. Matchnick has driven in 18 runs this year as he takes a ball outside. 2-2. Daly fell behind Cano with a first pitch ball in the first inning. It's the only time he's been behind in the count today, 1-0, as he strikes out. Matchnick swinging, back-to-back Ks on the score sheet. Daly has fanned 3 of the first 5 hitters. Nobody's gotten it out of the infield yet. And the batter will be Michael Perry as Daly looks for another perfect frame. Michael Perry's hitting .275, a homer, 16 RBIs. Strike one called. Calumet entered today's game with an 11-13 overall record. Second place in the conference at 4-2. Ball outside, 1-1. Just a half game out of first. The only team that's better than 4-2 through the first week of conference play is St. Xavier. They're 5-1. Ball's lifted, fouling out of play. Strike two. The Cougars have won 5 straight games. Their only loss in conference play so far this season was the last game started by Ryan Daly, who's now trying to deal the same fate to Calumet. Strike three called over the inside corner, and the inning is over. Ryan Daly strikes out the side. He's fanned 4 of the first 6 batters he's faced, and he's retired all of them. On to the third, 2-0 USF. Top of the order for St. Francis in the top of the third inning. They lead the game 2-0 as Alex Martinez digs in, technically for the third time today, and takes a strike. He singled in the first. He saw 3 pitches in the second inning, but ultimately that frame ended when Malachi Riley was caught stealing. So Martinez gets a fresh start, although not in good shape right now as he swings and misses for an 0-2 count. Andrew Davenport on the mound for Calumet. Shaky start for him, gave up 2 runs in the first inning, one of them earned. Ball low, 1-2. But he's retired 4 of the last 5 batters he's faced. Did a good job against the bottom half of the order. And now he's trying to regather against the top of the frame, or top of the order in the top of the frame. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Martinez goes down looking. First strike out of the ball game for Davenport, 1 away in the third. It brings up Max Montgomery. Davenport came into play today with 23 strikeouts in 25 innings pitched, so just a shade under 1 per inning. He misses low and away for ball 1 on Max Montgomery. Montgomery swings over the top of one. It's 1-1. Both pitchers working pretty quickly so far in this game. It is a chilly one. So you can keep warm by limiting the time between tosses. That's bunted foul by Montgomery, 1-2. Montgomery tried to bunt in the first inning. Davenport didn't let him. He missed the strike zone. Ended up walking him. And Montgomery later came home to score on an error. Here's the 1-2. There's a bouncer down the third base line. Off the mound, Davenport gloves it, throws to first in time. No panic on Davenport there. No visible hurry. He was smooth all the way. Knew exactly how much time he had to get Montgomery and made that play cleanly. Kind of a swinging bunt from Montgomery, who did look to bunt earlier in the at-bat. Swung away and got pretty much the same result. He grounds out. Second straight inning that Davenport has retired the first 2 batters. Now he's looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. Nate Maliska takes ball 1. Maliska is 0 for 1, but with an RBI. The only one of the game so far. The 1-0. Slapped to third base and off the glove of Joseph Selby as it ricochets into left field. Cut off quickly by Tommy Benson, holding Maliska to 1 base, but it is a 2-out single. And the Fighting Saints have a man aboard. First time today, St. Francis has not hit the ball on the ground. It was a line drive from Maliska. Every out had been a strikeout or a ground out, and every hit was a rolling single that found its way to the outfield. Joseph Selby almost seemed caught off guard that the ball was hit in the air. Didn't react quickly enough to pull it in. He tried to get his glove up on it, but it just nicked off the tip and out into left field. That's a line shot into right field, hit by Jake Klepash. Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Fighting Saints. Maliska advances to second base. 2 on, 2 out, and Brian Hidalgo's got a chance for an RBI or 2 here. It didn't look like this inning was going anywhere a moment ago, but all of a sudden Davenport finds himself in trouble. Maliska's at second, Klepash at first. Brian Hidalgo is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He grounded out his first time up. He swings at a fastball for strike 1 here. 2 runs in the first for the Fighting Saints. Always big to get an early lead when you're playing a shortened game like this one. Just 7 innings here in game 1 of the doubleheader. Game 2 will go 9, as scheduled anyway. Swing and a miss, 0-2. We haven't seen a 9-inning game in a while. The Saints have been down by 10 or more in their last 3 scheduled 9-inning games, so all 3 of those ended up going 7 anyway. yesterday against Lewis, and then the 2 conference games last week. Ball low and away, 1-2 on Hidalgo. And that just speaks to the lack of depth in the pitching staff behind Ryan Daly, who's been great. Davenport sets for the 1-2 pitch. He's 1 strike away from ending the inning. And instead, it's rolled through the right side of the infield. A base hit for Hidalgo. Maliska around third base. The throw comes in from right field. Michael Perry's throw is on line, and it's out at the plate. A good throw from Perry. Maliska didn't like the call. Brian Mahalik will defend his honor, but the inning comes to a close. The Saints get 3 straight 2-out hits. They're not able to turn them into a run, though. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning with the lead still 2-0 for the Saints. Bottom 3, Calumet's trying to kickstart their offense with the bottom of their order. Nichols, Brody, and Barbosa due up against Ryan Daly. It's been 6 up and 6 down against Daly so far. His first pitch to Nichols misses high for ball 1. Top of the 3rd inning ended in an exciting fashion. It looked like the Saints were about to get back on the board. Up high to run on that last foul ball, so it took him a while to get back. And Daly is trying to capitalize on the fact that maybe he's a little winded after doing all that running, keeping him uncomfortable with a couple of pickoff attempts over to first. 1-1 the count on Cano. He takes the ball high, 2-1. Brody is at third base. Barbosa is at first. Darius Little, who just flew out to center field, was technically the first man to hit the ball out of the infield in today's game for Calumet. Nichols did too, but it was a foul out to right field, so it hardly counts. It doesn't really count on the score sheet. I mean, technically that ball was out of the infield as well, but it was a foul, so it doesn't really matter. Little's the only one to hit it to the outfield in fair territory. 2-2 the count on Cano. Daly trying to win the inning, and he does. Broke it just across the plate at the knees, and he ends the bottom of the 3rd, leaving 2 men on base. Couple of infield singles is the sum total of the offense for Calumet as we head to the 4th, 2-0 St. Francis. Drew Dant leads off the top of the fourth inning for St. Francis, who possess a 2-0 lead. Dant has been the best hitter on the team this year, .396 average, 3 homers, 11 RBIs. All 3 categories lead the squad. Dant takes ball 1 outside. Grounded out on the first pitch he saw in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Saints scored 2 runs in the first as Dant flies this into center, long run back Little, and it's over his head. Around first and into second for Drew Dant. It's a leadoff double here in the top of the fourth inning. Dant has his 4th double, his 8th extra base hit this year. I was just going to say they scored 2 runs in the first inning, and then in the next 2 combined they had 4 hits but didn't score. This is the first time since the first, though, that they've had their leadoff man on. So we'll see if this presages a big rally. John McGuire bats for the second time. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out. Ball 1 outside on McGuire. Davenport has had to pitch around a lot of trouble in today's game. Through 3+ innings, he's already given up 7 hits plus a walk, but only 2 of those 8 base runners have crossed the plate. McGuire takes the ball, 2-0. I guess Nate Maliska crossed the plate last inning as well. So it'll be the 3rd man to cross the plate. He was out is the only problem. As he slid across home plate, he was tagged just a little bit before he got there. 2-0, grounded to third base. That's a good result for Calumet if Selby can make this throw cleanly, which he does. McGuire for the second time today, retired 5-3. 1 out in the inning. Dant has to stay put as that ball was hit on the ground in front of him. And it'll be Cliff Vickers trying to advance him. It's the bottom of the order here. For obvious reasons, Brian Mahalik really wanted to see McGuire advance Dant to third base, if not score him. You always want that. Vickers takes a strike over the inside corner, but especially with 8 and 9 coming up in the batting order, you get that guy to third base with less than 2 outs, you can score him without a hit. Now that's not likely to happen. Line drive, looping into center field. It drops. It is a hit. And it may be a run as Dant rounds third base and crosses home standing up. It's an RBI single for Cliff Vickers, the 8th hit of the ball game for the Fighting Saints, and they lead it 3-0. For Cliff Vickers, that's RBI number 6 on hit number 11 this year. That brings up Jake Murda, who singled his first time up. 7 different Saints have accounted for the 8 hits so far. Runner on the move, first pitch swinging, rolled to the right side. Barbosa slides back to his left, gloves and throws to first, a half step ahead of Murda. Nice play by Barbosa. That was not easy with the runner going with the pitch. It was the second baseman who was on his way to cover second. Barbosa recovered, had to stop on a dime, switch to the opposite direction, and make a nice play. He was able to throw Murda out at first, but Vickers did advance to second base on the play. So another man in scoring position with 2 down and back to the top of the order. Alex Martinez is 1 for 2. He swings and misses, strike 1. Martinez singled and scored in the first. Struck out looking in the third. The only strikeout so far for Davenport. Swing and a miss, 0-2. It really hasn't been Davenport's day. Through 3 2/3 innings, he's allowed 8 hits and only has just 1 strikeout, but he's kept his team in the game so far. Starting to get late in this one, nearing the halfway point. Swing and a miss, strike 3, so he has his 2nd strikeout of the game, as does Alex Martinez. And despite a pair of hits, he holds St. Francis to just the 1 run. They leave a man at second base. We have reached that halfway point. On to the bottom of the fourth. It's 3-0 St. Francis.
Leading off the Calumet St. Joseph fourth inning, the third baseman, number
3-0 St. Francis, bottom of the fourth. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Calumet in the fourth. Selby, Benson, and Macknick to face Ryan Daly for the second time each. First pitch from Daly misses low for ball one. The only two men to have reached base through the first 3 innings are their 8 and 9 batters who hit back-to-back infield singles. Swing and a miss, it's 1-1. They were both left on base last inning. Daly's been given a little bit of a thicker cushion since then. Ball high on Selby, 2-1. The run in the top of the fourth makes it 3-0. Makes the uphill climb that much steeper for Calumet. Breaking ball outside, 3-1. It's the first 3-ball count of the game for Daly, who obviously hasn't walked anybody yet. He's got 5 strikeouts. Ground ball right to the shortstop. Hidalgo charges it, throws over to first base, and gets Selby for the first out of the inning. Leadoff man has been retired in all 4 frames. Daly set down the first 7 men he faced before those back-to-back infield singles, and now he's gone back to work. 3 in a row retired. Here's Tommy Benson. Struck out swinging in the second. He takes strike 1. Road games today for St. Francis, despite playing at their home field. Fouled back off the screen, 0-2. They'll be back here tomorrow as the home team, assuming the weather holds up. Cold today. It's supposed to be cold and rainy tomorrow. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second time he's gotten Benson swinging. 6th strikeout for Daly, 2 down in the 4th. As of now, the games tomorrow are still as scheduled, 1 o'clock doubleheader, but if the weather does not hold out, those could be pushed to Saturday or Sunday, I'm not sure. Michael Macknick takes strike 1. Macknick struck out swinging his first time up. Up high, 1-1. Daly's looking for his third 1-2-3 inning of the game. Into the windup, the next pitch, misses outside. All of St. Francis's conference games have been played on this field so far this year, even today as the road team. Ball outside, 3-1. Today marks their 5th and 6th games of CCAC play. 7 and 8 tomorrow. Again, right back here. Fouled back off of Jake Murda's mask, and the count goes full. They had 2 games against St. Ambrose called off to rain last week. They were supposed to go out west. Weren't able to because of the field conditions. So they only played the home portion of that series. And then this weekend, they're playing both portions, but the visiting games are here. Swing and a miss, back-to-back strikeouts for Daly. He has struck out the side once. He's got at least one strikeout in every inning and his third perfect frame out of 4 total today. We'll go to the 5th. 3-0 St. Francis. Top 5, this one has been all Saints so far, but still 3 innings to play as the Crimson Wave try to turn it around. Davenport back to the mound as he faces the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for St. Francis and misses low for ball 1 on Max Montgomery. Montgomery's 0 for 1 with a ground out, a walk, and a run scored. The only walk of the game issued so far by Davenport. That ball's tapped back to the pitcher's mound, fielded on a high, hot by Davenport. He flips underhand over to first base, 1 away. Good start to the inning for him. It's the 3rd time today that he's retired the leadoff man. Each time the leadoff batter has reached base, he's scored. So that's a big out for Davenport. Nate Meliska's 1 for 2 with a single and an RBI ground out. Left-handed hitting first baseman stands in for the 3rd time and swings the first pitch, fouling it away, strike 1. 367 hitter coming into play today. There are a lot of lofty batting averages for the Fighting Saints coming in. He's one of 4 players hitting 340 or better. Ground ball up the middle. Tough play for the shortstop. Cano makes the diving stop, but no throw over to first. It's an infield hit for Meliska. The 9th safety of the ball game for St. Francis. All but one of them have been singles. Hence the fact they only have 3 runs on those 9 hits. Just 1 extra base hit. It was a double for Drew Dant, who eventually scored. Here's Jake Klepash, runner at first, 1 out. It hasn't been a particularly taxing day for Andrew Davenport. Strike at the knees of Klepash, 0-1. Doesn't have to deal all that often with runners in scoring position. Only really a few at-bats throughout the game, especially since the first inning, which was a difficult one. Sweeper off the inside corner, 1-1. 1 out, 1 on. He also hasn't thrown a ton of pitches, a lot of really quick at-bats. Saints have been ultra aggressive in this game. There's a ground ball to second base, charged by Nino Barbosa. Barbosa's only play is at first base. He gets Klepash by a step. Runner advances to second base on the play. That's Nate Meliska. And he stands there with 2 outs for the number 5 batter, Brian Hidalgo. Hidalgo is 1 for 2. He is one of 7 Fighting Saints with at least 1 hit in this game. John McGuire, who stands in the hole right now, is the only batter for the Saints not to have reached base. And I say that not to highlight McGuire, but to highlight everybody else. up and down the lineup. Saints have been able to put the bat on the ball as Hidalgo fouls it off, strike one. Brian Hidalgo is 1 for 2 with a single. He ended the third inning with a single. That's when Nate Maliska was thrown out at the plate trying to score from second base. The 0-1. Inside for a ball. The count is even. 7-inning game, so it's feeling pretty late in the fifth. With a 3-0 lead for the Saints. One more insurance run here could be huge. Ball low and away. 2-1. Crimson Wave have had only 2 total base runners in this game, let alone runs scored. So they're already, I'm sure, feeling the pressure a little bit in this opener, knowing there's still one more game coming up later. Ball low and away, 3-1. That's the good and the bad of a doubleheader. If you lose, you know, at least you still have a chance to go home happy by getting a win in game 2. But you go into a game, or a day, I should say, where there are 2 games. What you're really thinking is we got a chance to win 2 today. Calumet certainly still does in this one, but their chances are fading a little bit. They're at a point in the ball game right now where they can ill afford to make any mistakes. 3-1 count on Hidalgo right now. With 2 outs, Davenport certainly doesn't want to walk him to get to the hot-hitting Drew Dant. But he also doesn't want to give him anything too easy to hit. There's a runner at second base right now. 3-1. Inside, ball 4, and there are 2 on with 2 out. So Dant has a chance to break this game open. A base hit could make it 4-0. An extra base hit could make it 5-0. Dant is already 1 for 2 with a double. He scorched one over the head of Darius Little in center field. It was the biggest hit we've seen in this game. There have been 11 total, but the other 10 have all been singles. It has not really been a busy day for the outfielders of either team. A lot of hits on the ground. There's a slap into right field, and that's down for a base hit in right. Some work for the right fielder, Michael Perry, here, but this time he will not be able to throw Maliska out at the plate as his throw back to the infield is cut off. It's a 2-out RBI single for Drew Dant, and the lead is 4-0. Second hit, first RBI of the game for Dant. Brian Hidalgo moves up to third base on the play. That 2-out walk really came back to bite Davenport. Hidalgo's been swinging the bat well, too, so you can't just lob him over to him and hope for the best, but situation you really want to avoid a walk. Ball low on John McGuire, 1-0, just because Dant was the man on deck, and Dant has been excellent at the plate this season, especially of late. John McGuire's grounded out to third twice. He grounds this one down the third base line, but it's a foul ball. Strike 1 to even the count. Saints scored 2 runs right off the bat. One of them unearned against Davenport in the first inning, and then Davenport seemed to settle down. Went on a stretch where he retired 6 out of 7 batters. But then between the third and fourth innings, he gave up 4 consecutive hits. And the Fighting Saints have piled on with a couple of big insurance runs, one in the fourth and one here in the fifth. 1-1 pitch to McGuire. He checks his swing and takes low, 2-1. Both pitchers in today's game, Davenport and the Saints' Ryan Daly, have been very sharp with their command, although both of them have seen in their last inning it fade just a little bit. Ground ball to third again. That is wide of the bag. A foul ball. Count goes to 2-2. That one couldn't have been very much closer. That ball bounced. I can't always tell from directly behind home plate, up in the press box, what's fair and what's foul. But that one you could see it actually hit the ground inches in front of third base, and it looked like it was right on the line. So it cut behind the bag at the absolute last instant. 2-2 on McGuire. Runner on the move. Davenport hits it into the gap, right center field. Perry goes over to cut it off, but it is down for a base hit. First hit of the ball game for McGuire. He drives in a run, makes it 5-0. Dant was running with the pitch, so he easily makes it into third. And they're still at the corners. Sixth RBI this year for John McGuire. St. Francis pouring it on here in the fifth inning. They're in great shape now with that 5-run lead, just 9 outs away from their third conference victory. 2-out hitting has been key for the Saints today. Cliff Vickers stands in for the third time. Vickers drives it into right field. That's a base hit in front of Perry, and it's off of Perry's glove. It rolls back towards the warning track. Vickers heads to second base. McGuire missed second as he rounded the bag initially, and that probably prevented him from scoring. He had to run back and touch second base before turning on the Jets and making it into third. So there will be an error charged to Michael Perry on the play because it allowed Vickers to advance the extra 90 feet. But McGuire ends up where he probably would have anyway. It scores Drew Dant. 6-0 our score now as the Saints have put together their biggest inning of the game. 3 runs here in the fifth, and all of them with 2 outs. There was a runner at second, 2 down, and then walk, single, single, single. Meeting on the mound, trying to settle down Davenport. Nobody warming up at the bullpen right now. That error on Perry out in right field was the third of the game for Calumet. None of them prevented outs. All of them just allowed base runners to advance. But there have been some big advances, including back in the first inning that led to a run. Here's Jake Murda, the catcher, who takes ball 1 outside. Murda is 1 for 2 with a single. A single here could really break the game open. You could argue it's already been really broken open here in this fifth inning. Fouled away to the right side, 1-1. The Saints are now out hitting the Crimson Wave 12-2. And now this top of the fifth inning is really dragging on to the point that Ryan Daly's got to do something to stay warm. Cold day, it's easy for the muscles to tighten up. Ground ball to the shortstop. Off the glove of Cano. It trickles behind second base. The runner's going to try to score from second. The throw comes in plenty of time, and Vickers is out at the plate. 1 run does score on the play. I believe will go as an error on Cano to allow that run to score and Murda to reach first base. Vickers is thrown out 4-2 at home. And the inning comes to a close, but 4 runs score with 5 consecutive 2-out base runners. And we'll head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Our score 7-0 Saints.
Fifth inning.
Calumet's really got their work cut out for them now. 7-0 our score In the bottom of the fifth inning, Michael Perry is the batter, facing Ryan Daly for the second time. He flails out a fastball for strike one. Perry struck out looking his first time up. 4, 5, and 6 in the batting order for Calumet today are a combined 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. And Perry is behind in the count here, 0-2. Saints scored 2 in the first. That put him in good shape. With Daly pitching best on the mound so far this year. 2-run lead felt pretty good. They added an insurance run in the fourth to make it 3-0. Perry takes low, ball 1. And the way that Daly is throwing specifically today, that third run felt huge. Just off the outside corner, 2-2. And then 4 runs in the fifth inning for the Saints. And now it seems like they are very much in the driver's seat, just trying to put this game away. Ball off the inside corner. Daly got ahead of Perry 0-2. Since then, he's missed on 3 in a row. No walks so far issued by Daly. He struck out 7. Perry fouls one away. He's still 3-2. Crimson Wave are making him work a little bit. There have been some lengthy at-bats the last few innings. Making it easy. He takes ball 4. It's the first walk issued by Daly and just the third base runner of the game for Calumet St. Joe's. Leadoff man is aboard for the first time. Strike one called. One of just 2 batters to record an out in the outfield. He fouled out to right. Little flew out to center later in the third. Every other out has either been recorded on strikes or on the ground. 0-2 on Nichols. This is a day where the wind is not blowing. Flags are completely dead out in center field, which is a big deal on a cold day. Ball 1. Temperature is at just 40 degrees, so any amount of wind would really make it freezing down there. Hard ground ball and out of the reach of the shortstop Brian Hidalgo into left field. A base hit for Nichols. And Calumet's putting together their first serious offensive threat of the game with 2 men on base and nobody out. They did have 2 runners on back in the third inning as well, but those were both infield singles. This is a little bit of a different story. A walk and a smash out to left hit by Nichols, who departs for the moment. Jacob Gunn comes on as the courtesy runner. Tyler Brody is the batter. Brody's 1 for 1 with one of those infield hits. Strike one called. Nobody out in the bottom of the fifth inning. 0-1 on Brody. Foul tipped. Another 0-2 count. This is the third straight batter to see an 0-2 count. Daly was not able to put away either of the other 2. We'll see how he attacks Brody. Fouled away. Still 0-2. With all the ground balls that we've seen today, the double play is certainly in order. And a double play now would get him out of the inning as Brody goes down looking. Strike 3 over the inside corner. 8th strikeout of the game for Daly. And it's the 4th time he's gotten a Crimson Wave batter looking. 1 out. Here's Nino Barbosa. 250 hitter. Barbosa is 1 for 1. Reached on a bunt single back in the third. Ball 1 inside. Swing and a miss. 1-1. I was talking about the wind earlier and how it's nice for the players down there that it's not blowing at all. It also affects the game conditions. Strike over the inside corner. Today's a day actually where it probably wouldn't be terrible if you're a pitcher. Let him hit it into the air. The ball you wouldn't think would carry very much. We just haven't seen a lot of it. Everything's been on the ground. That one's in the air. A line drive to right field. Another base hit for Calumet. Michael Perry comes around third base and scores to snap the shutout. Heading to third base is Gunn. He makes it there safely. 7-1 is our score. And there are runners at the corners with only 1 out. Calumet threatening to make a game out of this. That 4-run top half of the fifth for St. Francis looking pretty big at the moment. Nino Barbosa drives in his 10th run of the season. Top of the order, Darius Little takes strike one. Daly's pumping in strikes. He's been getting ahead of everybody this inning, but he has not been able to put them away as he was in earlier frames. It was 0-2 on Perry before he ended up eventually drawing a walk. It was 0-2 on Nichols, eventually singled on a 1-2 pitch. It was 1-2 on Barbosa, and then he singled. So the Calumet hitters are sticking with it from behind in the count. The 0-1 is over for a strike, 0-2. Darius Little struck out looking in the first inning. Flew to center field in the third. 7 runs, 12 hits, no errors for St. Francis. 1 run, 4 hits, 4 errors for Calumet. The 0-2. Little strikes out swinging. 9th strikeout for Daly, and probably the biggest of the game right there. With a runner at third base and less than 2 outs, Little is unable to make contact to get that runner home. And now it's up to Blaze Cano to keep this inning alive. Cano swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Daly is ahead of another Calumet hitter. Cano grounded out in the first inning, struck out looking in the third. They're at the corners, 2 down. 1 run is in so far this inning. Daly keeping a close eye on Barbosa at first base. Runner goes, the pitch is taken for a ball. Throw down to second is off the mark. So an easy steal for Barbosa as he moves himself into scoring position. For Barbosa, that's the 6th steal in 7 attempts this year. Count is 1-1 on Blaze Cano. Ball 2. So a base hit now could score 2. Saints would still have a pretty good sized lead at that point, but Daly would like to get out of this without any further damage. It's been a tough inning. Pickoff throw back to second. Hidalgo is able to run it down. No chance at tagging the runner. He wasn't really covering second base when Daly made the throw. There's nowhere for Barbosa to go. There's a runner at third base. I don't know how much attention he really needs to pay to the runner at second. Ball outside, 3-1, especially with a 6-run lead. Foul back. The count goes full. 27 pitches thrown this inning by Daly. It was a long top of the fifth. I mentioned it at the time. On a cold day like this, your muscles tighten up pretty quickly. I don't know if that's had anything to do with the struggles this inning, but Daly is just 1 strike away from St. Francis. What St. Francis did to them in the top of this inning. 2-out rally. Saints had 5 straight 2-out base runners. There's a chopper to the left side. Hidalgo gathers it up. The shortstop sets his feet, throws to first, and ends the inning. Calumet has to settle for just 1. They got a couple of hits, a walk, but leave 2 men in scoring position. So we head to the 6th, 7-1, Saints on top. Top of the Saints batting order in the top of the 6th inning. They've got a 6-run lead, trying to add more with Alex Martinez coming up. Andrew Davenport still on the mound for the Crimson Wave. He misses downstairs for ball 1. Davenport threw a no-hitter here against the Saints last year. And this start today, he's allowed 12 hits, so a little bit of a different story. So he paints the inside corner, strike 1 on Martinez. He has struck out Martinez twice today. The only 2 strikeouts he's thrown today. 1-1. Ground ball to third base, picked up on a couple of hops by Joseph Selby. Throw across the diamond is in time. 1 up, 1 down, top of the 6th. Here's Max Montgomery. Montgomery walked and scored his first time up. He's grounded out to the pitcher in both of his subsequent at-bats. Strike 1 called on Montgomery. Davenport struggled through the 5th inning. Gave up 4 hits, a walk, and 4 runs. An inning that I wouldn't say put the game away because it's still early enough that Calumet can make a run here late, but it made it very difficult for the Crimson Wave to reach it. 1 hopper back to the mound again. Davenport snares it and throws to first. Can't remember ever seeing one-man stat line for a game read 1-3 3 times in a row. Montgomery is grounded to the pitcher in 3 straight at-bats. Now Davenport is 1 out away from his first perfect inning of the game. He faces Nate Maliska. Maliska's had 3 productive at-bats today. He takes ball 1 inside. In the first inning, he drove in the first run of the game on a ground out. Since then, he has singled twice and scored once. 1-0. Maliska swings and he taps it back to the mound. Busy day fielding-wise for Davenport, the former infielder. Throws over to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. His best frame today. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th, 7-1 St. Francis. Bottom 6, Calumet bats down by 6. Heart of their order due up, Selby, Benson, and Macknick. Joseph Selby is 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts in the game. He takes ball 1 low from Daly. Ryan Daly still going strong. A couple of guys stretching down in the St. Francis bullpen. So I don't know how much time Ryan Daly has left as Selby takes a strike, 1-1. This next pitch will be his 95th of the game. Ball low. Really an elevated pitch count for Daly. For as good as he's been, he hasn't been efficient with his pitches because, number 1, Calumet's making him work a lot of long at-bats. Fouled back, strike 2. Number 2, there have been a lot of strikeouts. You strike out 9 guys over 5 innings. You expect that there are going to have been a lot of pitches mixed in there. Hard grounder right to the shortstop. Backhanded stop Hidalgo, who throws to first, one down. Hidalgo's had an active day over at short. That's his 4th assist today.
Number 20, Tommy Benson.
Brings up Tommy Benson. The bottom of the order has done the brunt of the damage today for Calumet. 1 through 5 in the batting order have gone a combined 0 for 13. Ball inside, 1-0 on Benson. 0 for 13 with 6 strikeouts, in fact. Everybody from 6 through 9 has reached base at least once. 2-0 on Benson, who has gone down swinging in each of his first 2 at-bats. Fouled off to the right, 2-1. That was the 100th pitch of the game for Ryan Daly. Looking for his 4th win already this season. Ball low and in, 3-1. Consider one of those wins did come in relief. So as a starter, he's 2-1. Fouled away and out of play. 3-2, but the rest of the team, again, he is 3-1. The rest of the team is just 1-11. That's their record pitching wise. One of those wins did come in somebody else's start. Fouled away. Still 3-2. Quinn McGuire's the only other pitcher to get a positive decision so far this season for USF. They're 4-12 overall, 2-2 in conference, and both of their conference wins belong to Ryan Daly. Benson fouls off another one. He'll see an 8th pitch. So people talk about 1-loss record and how much does it actually mean. Depends on who you are as a pitcher. If you're a guy like Daly who goes deep into a lot of games, you're going to get a lot of decisions. There's a high fly in fair territory this time. Shallow center field. Both middle infielders go back, and Brian Hidalgo calls off the center fielder Cliff Vickers to make the catch. 2 away. Lengthy battle between Daly and Benson. But it eventually goes the pitcher's way, and it'll bring up Michael Macknick. In Daly's case this year, there's no question about how important the 1-loss record is. When you're 3-1 and the rest of your team is 1-11, I think that says something about how effective you've been. Ball outside, 1-0. A lot of times when you see a lopsided record like that, one pitcher's been great, the other pitchers haven't been getting wins. Macknick swings and misses. The reason is because the offense isn't great. You need a pitcher out there throwing a shutout each time. The Saints' offense has been fine. Their pitching staff has just really, really struggled beyond Daly. You take him out of the mix, the rest of the staff has an ERA over 15. Strike called, 2-2. Macknick has struck out twice today. Daly will try to get him for a 3rd time to put an end to the bottom of the 6th inning. Fouled back, still 2-2. Another long inning for Daly despite its effectiveness. He hasn't given up a base runner yet, but he's closing in on his 20th pitch of the 6th. 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him again. 10th strikeout for Daly. 3rd time he's gotten Macknick. And we'll go to the 7th inning. Saints are just 3 outs away from a win. They'll try to add a little more insurance, leading 7-1.
No hits, no errors. Nobody was left on base.
Top of the seventh, potentially the last offensive inning for the Saints, as long as they don't give up 6 runs in the bottom of the frame. They'll try to add a few more on just to make it official. Jake Klepash leads off the 7th inning and takes ball 1 low. Andrew Davenport still on the mound for the Crimson Wave. Davenport has been up and down in this game. Up right now, though. He went 1-2-3 in the 6th, his first perfect inning of the game. He threw just 8 pitches in the process as Klepash swings and misses, 1-1. Saints have 12 hits. They've scored 7 runs. Not all of them have been earned against Davenport. Klepash launches it foul to the left side, out of play, 1-2. If I've counted right, 5 of the 7 so far have been earned. If I've counted right, which I may not have. Ground ball to the right side, gloved cleanly by the first baseman, Michael Macknick. He steps on the bag, 1 down. 4 straight retired. Talked about how Davenport used to play the field a lot more often. This year he's been primarily a pitcher. The other change I noticed is that last year he was listed on the roster as Bubba Davenport. This year he's Andrew. Now I just read what's on the roster. He can call himself whatever he wants. Brian Hidalgo steps in and takes ball 1 low and away. But I'm thinking that Bubba's a much better nickname for a first baseman than it is for a pitcher. I don't know if that's what went into the decision making at all. I don't know what his family and friends call him. I just know it's on the roster, and it's Andrew this year. 2-0 on Hidalgo, who has reached base twice. Fouled off his foot, 2-1. Everyone 1 through 9 in the batting order has reached base at least once for the Fighting Saints. 8 out of 9 players have at least 1 hit. Saints still only have the 1 extra base hit. Leadoff double from Drew Dant back in the 4th inning. Dant is on deck here in the 7th. But they put up a big offensive game even without the power. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Davenport looks to put him away. And he does. Scott Hidalgo chasing outside for strike 3. 3rd strikeout of the ball game. 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning, and the batter is Drew Dant. There's a right-hander warming up in the St. Francis bullpen right now. Ryan Daly's been going strong, but he's over 110 pitches through 6 innings. So I don't know whether or not we'll see him for the 7th. Dant fouls it away, strike 1. 5 straight have been set down by Davenport. Daly has also retired 5 in a row, which means it's been a while since we've seen a base runner. Last 10 batters overall have been retired. Dant swings and misses, 0-2. It's Blazekovic warming up in the bullpen for the Saints. And we may see him pretty soon as Dant chases one in the dirt for strike 3. The inning comes to a close. Last 6 of the game have been retired by Andrew Davenport, but it might be too little too late. His team needs at least 6 in the bottom of the 7th to keep this thing rolling. It's 7-1 Saints. Bottom 7, last chance for Calumet St. Joe's. They trail 7-1. New pitcher for St. Francis trying to close it out. Zach Blazekovich on for the team leading 8th time. No record, an 8.68 ERA in 9 1/3 innings. He's allowed 14 runs, 9 of them earned on 19 hits. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. His first pitch is a strike over the inside corner on Michael Perry. Perry's 0 for 1, hasn't put the bat on the ball yet. A strikeout, a walk, and a run scored. He's scored the only run so far for Calumet. Perry takes a strike, 0-2. Final line on Ryan Daly is pretty impressive. 6 innings pitched. He allowed just 1 run. It was earned. Only 4 total hits, and all of them were singles. Breaking ball just off the outside corner, 1-2. Just 1 walk, 10 strikeouts today for Ryan Daly, who is in line for his 4th win of the season. Ball outside, 2-2. Daly threw over 110 pitches. 111 to be exact. Ground ball down the third base line. Nice backhanded stop by Drew Dant. He plants his feet, throws to first. It's not in time. Gets away from the first baseman as well, so Perry hustles into second base. It'll be a single and an error for Michael Perry, and the leadoff man reaches for Calumet. It's their 5th hit of the game. They've all been singles, and it's the 3rd of those 5 to not have left the infield.
Catcher number 6, Brendan Nichols.
First error of the ball game committed by the Saints. Crimson Wave have 4 of them. Here's the catcher, Brendan Nichols, 1 for 2 with a single. Strike over the inside corner, 0-1. It's a new pitcher, but same results so far in that the top half of Calumet's order has really not been able to do anything. The bottom half has kept things churning. The 0-1 pitch, outside, ball 1. 1 through 5 in the order for Brian Nowakowski's team today. A combined 0 for 15. Ball outside, 2-1. Meanwhile, 6 through 9 in the batting order have gone 5 for 8 with a walk. So all 6 of their base runners have come from the back half of the order. 2-1 to Nichols. Line drive into left field, another base hit. Perry rounds third base. He's going to score easily. An RBI single for Brendan Nichols, his 2nd hit of the ball game. It's 7-2. And this has been the question for St. Francis. They are on the verge of moving above 500 in conference play. The question all season is, you take away Ryan Daly, is there anybody who can consistently get 3 outs? Right now it's Blazekovich trying to find 1. Gunn comes back in as the courtesy runner over at first. Tyler Brody is the scheduled hitter, but they'll pinch hit for him. Nicholas Anderson will bat instead. Anderson's batting .209 this year. First pitch to the new DH, up high for ball 1. There's a called strike, 1-1. So just to update that stat now, Calumet's 6 through 9 in the batting order is 6-4-9. So they are having an incredible offensive day. 7 for 10 in terms of on-base percentage, 700. Ground ball up the middle, and the hits just keep on coming for the bottom of the order. Put in a new man, doesn't matter. Nicholas Anderson singles up the middle. Gunn advances to second base. 2 on, still nobody out. Calumet's trying to make a game of this. Nino Barbosa will not bat. They pinch hit for him as well. The new man up is Gio Pappas. Former Fighting Saint getting an at-bat against his old school after a meeting on the mound. Barbosa had been 2 for 2 with an RBI but his game is apparently done. Remember, game 2 of this doubleheader coming up next, and that'll be a 9-inning affair. Game 1 goes just 7, so Calumet is down to their final chance, but they've got 3 straight hits to open the inning. Opponents coming into play today, we're hitting .413 against Zach Blazekowicz, so it's not as though this 3 straight hits are out of the blue. Pappas swings and misses, strike 1. Gio Pappas is hitting .297. 5 RBIs this year and 37 at-bats. Blazekowicz could use a ground ball. Ball outside, 1-1. Seven hits in the game now for Calumet. They've come in just 3 innings. I guess that's what happens when only half your batting order is able to come up with any. Pappas takes a strike, 1-2. 2 hits in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, and now 3 in the 7th. Again, you roll back to the top of the order. Nobody's done anything. Ground ball to the shortstop. Hidalgo gets in front of it, throws to second for 1. Martinez does not make a throw over to first base. Hidalgo had to go too far into the hole to pull in that ground ball, so there was never a chance to turn 2. Gunn advances to third base on the play. Anderson is retired, 6-4. And Pappas is the man at first base until Barbosa replaces him. So Barbosa's back in to run for himself. Pappas batted for him. They're at first and third, 1 down for Darius Little back at the top of the order. For St. Francis, you'll take that trade. The base runner advancing for the out. Still up by 5 runs. It's not really nerve-wracking at this point for the Saints. They just need to find outs, and they've found one now. Darius Little takes a strike. And the good news for St. Francis, they won't have to face the bottom of the order again. Darius Little is 0 for 3 with a flyout and 2 strikeouts. If it gets down to the 6th hitter again, you're in trouble, but the game is most likely over by that point. Calumet will have scored 5 or more runs. Little takes a strike. It's 0-2 if it gets that far. And if it doesn't get that far, the game's over. Saints will have won. The 0-2. Outside for a ball, 1-2. It's been a trying 7th inning for Zach Blazekowicz, but he's still very much in the driver's seat with this 5-run lead. Doesn't have to worry about the base runners. The 1-2, just off the inside corner, 2-2. He's trying to keep Barbosa close at first base to keep this double play in order. But otherwise, he can focus on the man at the plate. 2-2, just low. A couple of close misses from Blazekowicz. He has not quite been able to put away Little. This whole Calumet team, very, very patient at the plate. We've seen it throughout this game. There have been some long at-bats all throughout this one. A lot of 2-2, 3-2 counts. Foul tipped into the catcher's glove. That's strike 3. Little goes down on strikes for the 3rd time today. 11th strikeout overall for St. Francis pitching, and they're 1 out away from a win. There's a reason that it's a 7-inning game. Calumet's only scored 2 runs, and they've made St. Francis pitchers go over 130 pitches for the game. Ball low, 1-0 on Blaze Cano, who's 0 for 3. 2 groundouts and a strikeout. The 1-0. Ground ball to third. Dant backhands it. Long throw to first. He gets it there, and there's your ball game. St. Francis takes the opener behind a couple of big innings at the plate and some strong work from Ryan Daly. The Fighting Saints pick up a 7-2 victory in Game 1 of today's doubleheader. Let's go back over this one in case you missed any of it. The Saints had the lead the entire way. They scored 2 runs in the top of the 1st inning as Alex Martinez singled and Max Montgomery walked. An error advanced Martinez to third base. He scored on Nate Meliska's RBI ground out. Later in the inning, an error allowed Montgomery to score, the second error of the inning. Made it 2-0 St. Francis. From the very outset, it was clear that those 2 runs were going to be big because Calumet did not have very much success against Ryan Daly. It went down 1-2-3 in the first, 1-2-3 in the second. Daly retired the first 7 batters, 4 of them on strikes, before Calumet finally got a base runner for the first time. USF, meanwhile, added an insurance run in the 4th inning. Drew Dant doubled. Cliff Vickers singled him in to make it 3-0. And then they broke it open in the 5th inning with 5 consecutive 2-out base runners. Nate Meliska singled. Brian Hidalgo walked. Drew Dant picked up an RBI base hit. Hidalgo scored on a John McGuire single. And then Dant came home on Cliff Vickers' second RBI hit of the game. So it was 7-0 St. Francis. Calumet added a couple of late runs. They got an RBI single from Nino Barbosa in the 5th inning. And in the 7th, an RBI base hit from Brennan Nichols made it 7-2. They put 2 runners on with nobody out in the 7th inning, but Zach Blazekovic settled in, retired the last 3 men in order, and put a stop to this one. Our final total, St. Francis 7 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. Calumet 2 runs, 7 hits, 4 errors. The winning pitcher is Ryan Daly. Daly improves to 4-1 on the season. He went 6 innings, allowed just 1 run. The losing pitcher is Andrew Davenport, who falls to 1-3 on the season. Davenport went the distance, but gave up 7 runs. 5 of them were earned. With the win, the Saints now 3-2 in conference, 5-12 overall. The Crimson Wave fall to 11-14 overall, and 4-3 in conference play. One more chance for them to pick up a victory this afternoon. We've got game 2 of today's doubleheader. A 9-inning game, approximately 4:15 first pitch. So be ready for that. I'm going to step aside, and I'll be back right around 4:15 with first pitch of game 2 of today's doubleheader. Saints playing as the visitors. We'll try for the sweep. Calumet will try to salvage 1. Again, that's coming up in just about a half hour. Until then, our final score in this one, St. Francis 7, Calumet College of St. Joseph 2. Talk to you soon.